Well, hey there, not so lucky viewer. I hope you're nice and strapped in and ready for a very long and bumpy ride. It will get so crazy and heated in here. Today I decided, you know what? As someone that is not necessarily politically leaning either way, let's see what people say about fence sitters. 'Cause I know in one of my previous video I was kind of talking about that a little bit, but I wanted to kind of see the opinion of somebody that doesn't like fence sitters. Another reason I decided to start looking at fence sitters was just because I had seen the video that the king of commentary, who shall not be named, pretty much made a video defending himself against being a fence sitter. Or not necessarily that, but it was a whole bunch of other stuff. But that was kind of one of the complaints that I guess people throw at him a lot. And so the first post that I had seen was basically he said that he didn't like that there was political things in games, or it shouldn't be in games or something like that. And the post was saying, dude, video games have always been political and stuff like that. And I mean, like, if someone wants to see it that way, that's fine, but you got to think, like, everybody's going to process things through a different lens, you know what I mean? Like, when I play Baldur's Gate, right, I see it as this pretty cool and innovative D&D game, you know, and it's crazy because I was actually kind of craving a sort of D&D experience, but I don't like being around people. My first D&D experience wasn't great. Rather, the first group that I played with, I didn't have a very good time with. So the first time I played it, I actually had a pretty good time. Second time was not so good, but it was a very uncomfortable setting for me because I was just in someone else's house, and it was like one of those nice kind of fancy places, and like everybody knows each other and I'm the odd man out. So it's an uncomfortable situation for anybody to be in. And there was this kind of like embarrassing moment where I was trying to like explore this one room, but everyone was trying to leave, and so I was like asking questions, and then someone was just like, dude, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just like, you know, it's like when you get thrown a controller for the first time around some people, and like your first time, you're just like, yeah, this seems like it's kind of fun. I didn't really know what was going on, you know, mostly just kind of watched, hit a couple of things, but that was it. Second time, you know, I actually got on the controller, and then everyone's like, dude, what are you doing, bro? Why? It just, I just didn't want to deal with that. But the next time I played, it was just me, a buddy of mine, and a buddy of his, and it was pretty nice laid back, chill. We had a good time, but I had been kind of craving a D&D experience. Then Baldur's Gate 3 pops up, and I'm like, I've been wanting to do this. My girlfriend was kind of on the fence about it, lol, because I'm talking about fence sitters. Anyway, we got it, played it, and I was like, this is kind of what I've been wanting, you know what I mean? The introverted D&D experience. But when I play it, I just see like a whole bunch of, you know, things that you would probably come across in D&D, and just this like overall kind of cool experience. My girlfriend, on the other hand, who is heavily into queer rights and things like that, sees it as a very gay game. In her words, not mine. Personally, I don't see it that way, but she does. And if they had a political opinion in that game, it kind of went over my head, or I didn't think about it too much. So it was just an overall good time that I had playing the game. Still haven't beaten it yet, though. But this was also a post from like 5 years ago, so, you know, I figured it was just ancient literature, and I decided not to take it too much to heart. But I guess like my thing is just that you can like something for different reasons, you know what I mean? It is annoying when it's in your face, though, you know, regardless of the situation. Me personally, I just prefer it if it's more of a subtle thing, like the Galactic Empire and Star Wars are basically Nazis. And when you kind of look into it, you know, you see, oh man, you know, the big red banner, it's very geometrical. It has the white and the black and the red, and how they act and think that they're superior, things like that. You know, you see a lot of parallels drawn, but it's not, I at least didn't see it as in your face Nazism, or in your face, look, it's supposed to be space Nazis. I also wasn't around when it first came out, you know, so I knew of Star Wars before I knew of World War II. So, you know, It's all perspective, really, you know. But I did see one was on this post that was basically saying you either are racist or you are not. You either are this or you are not. Pick a side, basically. And so I was reading it, and one of the comments was that most people that don't care about politics and political things is because they've never had to worry about it before, basically. And they used an example that a person that's has 8 months to live or whatever, and their life depends on some sort of medical bill policy deal, and they can't afford it because of the healthcare system how it is now. Politics is going to matter a lot more to that person than it would somebody else, or someone that's not really affected by these policies and things like that. And I feel like my main two arguments to this would just be, one, ignorance is bliss. This is the most easy form. Most people are just comfortable not knowing and living their lives, and I'm kind of one of those people, because when I read about the stuff, I just get mad and I don't have anywhere to like place that anger, basically. So I would just end up redirecting it at someone else in my life that I care about, and I'd rather just not have to deal with that. The second would just be the example, right? If I'm going to hear about politics from anybody, it should be the people that it affects the most. But if, you got some guy who makes a living off of talking about controversial things and political things and getting people riled up, I'm less likely to take that person's word, because they make a living off of it. You know what I mean? They make money off of it. They live off of being controversial and talking about that sort of stuff. Which, in the example that was given, it was the person whose life would depend on some sort of policy passing. I want to hear from that person, not some guy talking about it. You know what I mean? And if that person wants to not comment about it or not talk to anybody about it, then that's cool. Then we can have the other people that talk about this kind of stuff talk about it, which they could talk about it to begin with. I mean, I'm just sitting here talking about nothing, basically. But it's as the saying goes, I'd rather hear it from the horse's mouth, But ranting aside, I'm going to get into the first post of the day. Am I the a-hole if I let my sister know her 12-year-old is no longer a virgin and may be pregnant? 12? Golly. Now, with as shocking as a title as that, you just can't skip it, right? Anyways, I mistakenly found out that my 12-year-old niece had sex with a 15-year-old boy. ... I want to let my youngest sister know ... Okay, like, this guy uses double periods basically every time, so just you'll probably see that, but I won't continue to do the ... But I don't know if it is my place to do so. It sounds like she may tell her from the text I seen. I didn't confront my niece or the boy, but I found it on accident while using her phone for Apple Pay today. I forgot my wallet at home while getting coffee with my niece. My niece offered her phone for Apple Pay. While I was getting to her Apple Pay, right before she handed the phone to me, she was texting my other niece from my other sister, as they are around the same age and talk frequently. And the text read, "Did you tell your mom that you and blank had sex yet? And you might be pregnant?" In the preview of the text. I have 3 sisters. 1 has 1 son, 2 has 4 daughters, and 3 has 2 daughters and 1 son. And I am conflicted on this. Am I the a-hole if I let my sister know or confronted my niece or the boy? I feel like I should and need to as their uncle, but don't really feel like it is my place to do so. There are no dads in the picture with any of my nieces or nephews. 2 passed away and the other is in a Thailand prison. Or do I just let it ride and not say anything? I hope she will let my sister know. Seriously conflicted on this. Just based off of that, I would say you wouldn't be that a-hole if you let the sister know. But what I would do is talk to the niece first and tell her that she needs to tell her mom she might be pregnant, so you guys can make sure and figure out what to do. Personal opinion, it is a really sticky situation. Jeez, like, she could be a mom at 13. That's That sucks. That would suck. And since we're on the topic of fence sitting, I will hop off the fence and take my stance that this is why abortion should be legal. In cases like this, abstinence does not always work. Some people are weak-willed, and it doesn't even have to do with weak will all the time. Sometimes it's just not knowing better, you know, because you're taught to not do it, and that's it. It's less like the law. You say, hey, you're not supposed to steal. It's not going to stop people from stealing. Anyway, this post had an update. It says, I ended up driving my niece to the boy's house and confronted the boy with the boy's parents home and did this in a respectful manner. As much as I wanted to be hostile, I was not, as I had to remember that he is only 15 and I now do not want to get in trouble. I am a retired combat veteran and didn't work 25 years for the military to have my benefits taken away for this 15-year-old boy. So I let the parents know that if we should call the police, and we were all going to see what needs to be done on both sides of things. They both agreed. We got with the police now at 4:21 p.m. Bro, you were in the military, you're a retired vet, and you don't use military time? Come on now. Something smells fishy. I don't know if this story's true now. You gotta line up the facts, bro. Don't sit on the fence. Stupid. Anyways, yeah, that's a false equivalency as a joke, by the way. And since they are both minors, each of them could be charged if the parents were to press charges on each other's kids, which makes sense if it was in my niece's and this boy's mind consensual. I should also mention my sister was called and was also present during all of this, as I am not my niece's legal guardian. My conflict was letting my sister know right away, as she is a slowly recovering meth addict, and I don't want to put her over the top and have a dead sister on my hands with an overdose of fentanyl. Wait, is that a thing? Do people actually put fentanyl in meth now? Because, like, I thought fentanyl was like a huge downer, like it was close to heroin. I mean, I could be mistaken, but that's basically just speedballing at that point, right? With meth and fentanyl. Yeah, I don't know. Is that another inconsistency I smell? I'm just playing. It says, which was and is a high possibility, which I probably should have put as to why I had conflict in this. I also should have mentioned both kids have known each other their whole lives and have always been close, but still does not make this okay in my mind. But just want to make it clear, it wasn't just some random boy. I do not think this is right in any way, but it is what it is, this state we now live in. I do not want to see my niece hurt in any way, shape, or form, as I love her as if she was my own daughter. I let my sister know that I am going to be taking care of my niece for a while until she calms down, because she was irate and had every right to be. Now, how long is this? Who knows? As my sister is now on her way to jail? What? After hitting the father of the boy, it wasn't hard, but it is still assault, and she did it in front of the police officers. God, dude. What is that like? I understand the situation is really, really tricky. There's going to be a lot of tension and stuff like that, but what is hitting the boy's father gonna solve in that moment? It doesn't do anything. Man, you got to be calculated with your anger. You just don't go around hitting people. You just don't. But I understand why she did it, you know. Probably just had to take it out on somebody, and who not better than the boy's father, because I guess some people do blame, like, parents for how kids turn out, but it's sometimes that is the case. I don't think it's always the case, though. Sometimes I do think people are just born not great people. It happens. The post continues, the entire situation has rocked my day, and I appreciate the quick responses and feedback from everybody that did reply, as it was something that I felt needed to be addressed, but I did not know how to. And I think I was shocked and conflicted, worried all the same. I read every response in the short time frame I had. I have also asked my mom to come over and have this talk with my niece tonight, as this needs to happen now. As for the pregnancy and STD, STI testing, I think I am going to have to save that for tomorrow. I am now mentally drained from these past 2 years. Thank you for everyone's genuine care and responses, and those of you who weren't nice. I hope something like this never happens to you and you receive the criticism you gave. And yes, I did read the responses. I want to know what he means by the past 2 years have been crazy. Like, what else has happened in the past 2 years? Maybe it was like being a retired combat veteran, like, and then he comes home to this crap. This man doesn't deserve it, man. I don't even know how people can be negative to this guy and criticize him for asking. I mean, he asked for a general like consensus here, because like he could have had an emotional response and then just immediately told the mom, and I guess the results would have maybe been the same, but still, what is there to really criticize the guy for? It's like a sticky situation. If you're dating someone who has kids and you're not their dad's in their life, and you see them doing something they're not supposed to, do you say, hey, you're not supposed to do that? Or do you tell the parent and then have them do it? I mean, it's a sticky situation. You know what I mean? There is no right or wrong answer, in my opinion. I mean, I guess the only wrong answer would be to not say anything at all. All right, next one is another Am I the A-hole? And it's really long, so this is the last one. The header is, my roommate used my vibrator without my knowledge. What do I do? Now, this one was sitting in my notifications for a little bit. It was a couple days, because I was like, I'm going to have to do this one. Whatever's in here, I'm just going to do it, because this is some really boundary crossing redneck type man. It goes, I'm sorry for the long one, but I am absolutely dumbfounded. A little bit of backstory. I, 23F, have been married to my husband, 23M, for 4.5 years now. We have our own place. My high school friend, let's call her Amy, 21F, recently moved in with us about a month ago due to a bad living situation with her family. She has a toddler who is also my godson. She said she would be here for about a month. Amy is not independent at all and is still living out her immature streak. She doesn't buy her own groceries. Example, food, laundry detergent, TP, tampons, etc. So she has been using my husband and I's stuff, which in this economy has kind of been affecting us financially. I have tried to calmly bring it up, but I hate confrontation and am just a plain doormat. My husband and I have been arguing a lot lately due to this. Amy is barely home and is usually out at bars or sleeping at/with other guys. My husband and I recently noticed that small items have been moved around in our room. Our bedroom door has been left open. We always leave it closed for multiple reasons, most of which don't pertain to her specifically, mainly safety. Hygiene items are missing out of our bathroom, and pretty much just the house is left a mess. We are a very clean people and like to keep our house a certain way. We understand having a kid makes that hard, so we are lenient in some things. Golly, I hope this friendship has meant a lot to you, because this is too much for anybody. Like, yeah, kids are gonna be a mess, but they're her responsibility, and she's like, yeah, I want to be out of here in a month. Well, you should probably like do your best to try to keep things how you found them, right? At least I would think. So my husband installed a camera in the kitchen that can see our bedroom door. We did not tell Amy since well, it's our house and we wanted to see why things were in disarray. We notice every day she is home, she goes into our bedroom. However, we can't see exactly what she is doing due to the angle of the camera. I have brought up to her that our bedroom door has been left open, and each time she responds, I don't know how, I didn't go into your room, or, oh, it was already open this morning. So I know she lies straight to my face. Bro, that's where you gotta like draw the line and be like, look, all right, I know you were in there, man. I know, because that door is open and the room's a mess. we're not messy people, so I'm sorry, but that leaves only one more person, and that's you. I don't like confrontation either, just because I had to grow up with it a lot, but there's just a certain point that, you know, once boundaries have been trampled on, you just have to set your foot down and make hard boundaries. If that still doesn't work, then you can just kick them to the curb. Feel like not cleaning up after yourself and using the things was already the line crossed. You brought it up and things still didn't change. And so here she goes again, and she's lying to your face. That's it. Strike number 2. You're out. We're all out of nice to give today. Now to the main point of this story. Today, my husband calls me and asks if I had her go into the room for any reason and if I asked her to get something out of my nightstand. I said no. Then he tells me to go check the camera. I do, and it shows her going into the bedroom, over to the nightstand, then back out. She was in for less than 4 seconds. Didn't look around, only cracked the door open enough for her to fit through. Opened the drawer. You could hear it clear as day on the camera, as it's a very unique sound, as they are old solid oak nightstands with no sliders. Then walked out with something under her shirt. She knew exactly where she was going and what she was going to get, like she had done it before. I immediately got mad and assumed she stole the cash that I had in there, but knew I'd have to wait to get home after work to check. 15 minutes later, my husband calls again and says, go look at the fucking camera. And what do I see? Her rinsing my vibrator in the kitchen sink, drying it with the hand towel, then going back in my room to put it away. Jeez. Look, I know that living with other people, it makes it hard to get that nice, happy alone time. But you don't have to go around using their things that they use, you know, their personal items. It's like reusing a condom, bro. Like, you just don't do it. It's gross. That's nasty. And if you're so desperate to get off when you're, you know, living with other people and stuff, you don't need to use a tool for that. I'm just saying. It might be rough. It might not be the most pleasant thing, but you don't need to use a tool. You just do the old Hawk Tua and get at it and clean up after yourself. And then that's it. God, I can't believe there are people like this. I am completely disgusted, astonished, violated, just no worlds. She obviously meant words there. And what can make it worse? Just yesterday, she tested positive for vaginal bacterial infection and was given antibiotics. Bro, this is like some sort of biological warfare she's playing on you. She knew she was infected, so she used your toy so that way she can infect you, and then you die and she takes over the house. Takes your husband, takes it all. I'm calling it now. She was a mastermind the whole time. I have no idea how many times she has done this since she has been living with us for a month, and we only put the camera in a couple days ago. I just got done at urgent care to get tests. I should know the results in a few days. Anyway, I am at a loss because I don't want her to be in the streets, but she's 100% lost my trust forever. Furthermore, she's jeopardized my health, my husband's health, our relationship, and proven to be completely mentally immature. I'm entirely sickened by the whole situation. I need to kick her out, but I don't know how to go about doing that. She has my godson. I don't know how I can ever have a normal friendship with her again. Please, any advice? Look, at the end of the day, clearly the friendship means way more to you than it does to her. So even though it sucks losing a friend, you just got to let it go, because you set your boundaries. They've been trampled on so many different times, so many different ways. You just got to cut your losses and say, I tried my best, but it's just not working out. Unfortunate, but it happens. Anyways, there's an update. My husband took me out to dinner last night and we discussed. We waited for Amy to get home and asked her if she had anything she would like to tell us. She said no. She then told her that there was a camera that was charging in the house and we saw her go into the nightstand. She got silent, so I asked what she was doing. She took a while to respond after some pushing. She said it was awkward. She then told me she was curious as to what I use. I asked her what she meant. She said toys. I asked her why she didn't just ask me, as I'm a very open person. Yeah, like, why wouldn't you just ask? For real. She said she felt awkward. I then asked her why she rinsed it and sniffed it. Ugh. She said because I touched it. I told her it doesn't make sense why she would do any of that. Why wash it after handling it and not before? Why even go in my personal area in the first place? We, of course, told her she had to move out because the trust is completely gone and I do not feel comfortable having her in my house anymore. My husband was a complete champ. Every time I started to shut down, he took the conversation over. I am still unsure what to think. I told her I don't trust her at all, that she didn't use it, but she insisted that she took it out to search what type and brand it was. I can't wrap my head around any of the details. She will be dropping my godson off with his father to watch him until she can find a place. I asked her about some options, all to which she is not a possibility, and kept insisting she will just live in her car or move somewhere else without her son. I feel so guilty and I can't help but think it is purposeful to make me feel this way. Oh yeah, 100% it is. 100%. But as a ton of comments said, I need to put my marriage first, so I'm sticking my ground. Thank you everyone who commented. Believe it or not, it was very helpful, and I tried to get through them all, but there are so many, so it will probably take me a few days. I laughed at some of the spite ideas, and if I weren't in fear of legal or social repercussions, it would be hilarious to watch. As for the matter of the item itself, I will be giving it to her as a parting gift, and maybe even ask her to buy me a new one once she gets on her feet. And to those who think this is a fake or bait, I wish that were the case. I truly do, as the details are hard for even me to believe, and they just kept getting weirder. Oh yeah, this person, like, with the whole like guilt tripping and stuff, like, she definitely wanted you to feel bad because she's a constant boundary stepper. So she's just like trying to find any way possible to make you feel as bad as she does all the time. But yeah, that was it for me today. I know, pretty lazy, pretty dumb, right? But if you want me to visit a particular subreddit, be sure to comment and do the thing that other YouTubers tell you to do at the end of their videos. Appreciate you, and I'll catch you later.